And then the final question, and this is a non-manufacturing question, just something I've been curious about for years. So when did you first feel Zolgensma was working? It was called AveXis 101 back then. But how many patients were actually treated before you said, this just might be working?
There was, hopefully my camera has come back on. People can see that there was a lot of praying going on, from day one of us entering the clinic. I kind of had the front row seat. I couldn't go to the clinic because of conflict of interest, of founding of AveXis. Also, I'm not the clinician, I'm the science guy. But I had the opportunity to always watch Dr. Mundell, who's not only a friend, colleague, but really a pioneer within this field, who ran those first clinical studies of AveXis 101. And, I would always sit, I knew when the SMA clinic was, when patients would be evaluated. And I would always watch them come back, and usually, there was, no update because it was too early. And Jerry was always cautious, just because the kid moved their tiny finger, Jerry would say, don't get too excited. I've seen things go the opposite way. So always would sit there holding my breath. And I started getting encouraged because I started to see his clinical team start getting larger. Suddenly the pulmonologist, suddenly there's another neurologist, and another neurologist is joining the SMA rounds. And, I would say it was probably on patient, I'm going to say 6 or 7, where, we had seen the pinky move, but then we had seen a couple other things that we really encouraged. And I saw Jerry just walking back. He walked by my office and I saw everyone smiling. This was, 6 to 9 months into the clinical trial, 6 or 7 patients dosed, and people are smiling and laughing coming back from SMA clinic. That is not what clinicians used to do coming back from SMA clinics. This was a death sentence to parents and the families and the patients. So here they're coming back, and Jerry and team are all smiling. And I'm like, About 5 minutes later, Jerry came back and showed me a picture, and it was of one of the kids in the clinical trial that was sitting up on the examination table. And that was the pinch me moment of, holy cow, everything that we, had thought about preclinically, non-clinically, thought that this would work. It was and prayed for it to work. This was the time where it's like, holy cow, this is doing exactly what we had planned for it to do. And it was then, Jerry's leadership on continuing the clinical trial, and also AveXis getting behind Jerry and team and really capturing the data in the manner, and I'll just give one example of starting to do recordings of the physical therapy and capturing patients doing these things that the natural history studies said that they shouldn't do. And I think it was that at that moment that, I said, I have to go and be all in and, ensure that, we get this thing across the finish line. And, I just, maybe in my final few seconds, can't thank, the large number of people who were just integral, from Nationwide Children's to the AveXis team, Sean Nolan really putting together a fantastic team. And then the way that people just worked nonstop to ensure the success. I'm humbled and just super proud that, we as a team were able to pull this off. And, the fact is there's a large team that continues to pull this off day in and day out to get Zolgensma out there to the world. And I really applaud this team.
Right. And I just want to say well done to you and your colleagues.